destruction of evil.
Hey up, it's Steve, the old Yorkshire geek, and it's time for another midweek live news stream. I wasn't planning on doing one this week, but I found, 6 news items. So I thought, rather than do 6 separate news videos, I'll do a live stream. And Josh Temple's in the house already, saying, what's up, Steve? Hope your day went well. It went fine until my PlayStation 5 decided it didn't want to stream to YouTube anymore for some weird reason. But I got it working in the end. Right, so anyway, before we start, so welcome, Josh. I hope I do a decent show. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, join us in the live chat if you're a member. What else? Smash that, whatchamacallit, notifications bell if you're a member. I've said that, I think I've said that already, haven't I? If you're a subscriber. Or whatever. Right, we're live on YouTube, I hope. I presume we are. Yes, we are. We should be live on Rumble. Let me give that a refresh and see what happens. Yes, we're live on Rumble. And we're live on Twitch. Yay. Right. So, as I said, I've got 6 news items for us to have a look at. Links are in the description for those stories. Later on I'll put timestamps in, maybe, if I want to. If I can be bothered. We'll see. But I'm also, links in the description for my Facebook, X and Instagram pages. And also, hang on, for God's sake, I've got a big stack of blooming Blu-rays and DVDs here. Just you're assuming I ever left the house. I don't know. Did I mention you leaving the house? I don't know. Anyway, where were we? Links in the description for my 2 books: Silent Predator, a short horror novella about big cats eating people in a North Yorkshire village, and Mercury Rapids, a light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff. Right, let's get on with it. Let's get on with this news, shall we? Let's get on with this news. Just him says, I may always be lurking. Always. Even when I'm not streaming, he's there somewhere. He's omnipresent. He's been learning off Windgrace, who, as we all know, is a pan-dimensional mega being. And Josh Temple's been learning the tricks of the trade, it sounds. He's always lurking. So I better behave myself. Anyway, let's get on with this news, shall we? Right, I'm all a dither and I'm a bit tired today, as usual. Oh, I've had me yawning. Oh, good heavens. Right, add to stage, here it is. Right, from the Hollywood Reporter, Aaron Couch and Boris Kitt say, Christopher Nolan's next movie lands at Universal with Matt Damon in talks to star. Josh says he's Windgrace's apprentice. My young apprentice. Oh, pardon me. The filmmaker, burping. I know I'm always burping, but I'm burping in particular today because I've had some prawn curry. My son decided he wanted some prawns, so I bought him some prawns, then decided he didn't want them. So I'm not a big prawn fan, so I thought, what can I do with them? So I stuck them in a curry, chopped up some onions and tomatoes and all that stuff. Threw it in a pan with the prawns, with some curry powder and all that jazz. And it were alright. Anyway, right, Christopher Nolan's next movie lands, I've just said that. The filmmaker, coming off of his Oscar-winning Oppenheimer, which I've still not seen, is eyeing a July 17th, 2026 return to theatres. And there he is. I'm not a massive fan of Christopher Nolan, to be completely honest. Yes, he's a talented filmmaker. I think he's a good director. I'm not sure about a good writer. He's a bit smug for me, and he's a bit, oh, look how clever and intelligent I am. Gets on my nerves. Anyway, Christopher Nolan is staying put at Universal, with the filmmaker setting his next film at his Oppenheimer studio. His Oppenheimer Oppenheimer. Oh, why can't I say that? Because I'm an idiot. His Oppenheimer supporting player, Matt Damon. Matt Damon. Everybody does that now, don't they? He's also in talks to star in The Feature, which has a release date of July 17th, 2026. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. The news comes amid speculation as to where and when Nolan would make his next feature. He publicly split with longtime home Warner Brothers in late 2020 amid its controversial Project Popcorn initiative. I don't know. I might have done a news story about that, but I can't remember. I'm guessing they're wanting to make films, more pleasing to the general public. I'm guessing that's what Project Popcorn is. But has expressed an openness over the past year to do business with the studio again. It just says Oppenheimer was quite good, but the TV show Manhattan is better. All right, I've not seen either. Or either. The new movie is a coup for Universal, which scooped up Nolan for Oppenheimer. The film exceeded expectations at the box office, probably because of Barbie as well, anyway. And earned Nolan his first Oscars for directing and as a producer for Best Picture. It took home 5 other wins. While Oppenheimer was acquired by Universal in a highly controlled auction setting, this new project went straight to the studio, according to sources. Although details are being kept in the bunker, sources say the project is not a big screen take on 1960s British series The Prisoner, an endeavour Nolan contemplated in the 2000s. Does that mean it definitely is then? Universal had no comment. And Adrian James is here saying good evening. In Alfred Hitchcock style. Nolan's 3-hour biopic of the father of the atomic bomb, J. Robert Oppenheimer, had an all-star cast that included Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr. and Emily Blunt, as well as Damon. It grossed $975 million globally, making it Nolan's 3rd biggest film at the global box office, behind Batman movies The Dark Knight Rises, $1.084 billion, and The Dark Knight, $1.003 billion. It was quite an achievement, given that it was not apparent that this topic could attract moviegoers in such high numbers. Again, I think Barbie helped. I think if the Barbenheimer thing hadn't been such a big thing, I don't think it would have got that, that nearly $1 billion. But it must be a good film, I've not seen it, but it must be a good film. Anyway, Nolan remains. I'm saying it must be a good film, just won umpteen Oscars, but Nolan remains the rare filmmaker whose name alone can inspire both audiences to head to theatres and inspire in-demand actors to join a set with fewer perks, no assistants, no entourages, all for a chance to work with the premier filmmaker. I kind of agree with that. As I said, I'm not a huge fan, but I agree with that sentiment. Like with Oppenheimer, Nolan will also pen the script and produce alongside producing partner and wife Emma Thomas for their Syncope banner. The film will be Damon's 3rd with Nolan. He also had a small but key surprise role in 2014's Interstellar. I hate that film. I hate Interstellar. Deadline first reported the news. Well, good for Deadline. So there we go. We'll see. It's going to be The Prisoner, isn't it? Because they're saying it's not The Prisoner, so it definitely is. But we'll see. We will see. I don't have sources to confirm this sort of thing. I could just make one up, couldn't I? I've got a source in Universal that says Christopher Nolan's definitely making a movie version of the Patrick McGoohan 1960s TV series The Prisoner, with Patrick McGoohan appearing, via hologram because he's dead, as a small part in the movie. There we go. That's from my sources at Universal. Wink, wink. No, it isn't. Anyway, so there we go. I'm sure it'll be a good film. Although, as I say, I've not seen his latest ones. I didn't see Tenet because I heard that were a bit crap. I haven't seen Oppenheimer. I didn't like Interstellar. But I love The Prestige and what's his that one with Andy, Al Pacino in. Insomnia. I loved Insomnia and Memento, and the Batman ones. I like them as well. But anyway, but Interstellar. God, I hate that film. I don't believe it, that film. Oh, right, and yes, his dream one. Yeah, that one. That one. I like that as well. Right, so let's move on. I'm sure his next film will do well. I'm sure it will. I've pressed the wrong button. I don't know what F9 does, but I've just pressed it. F11, there we go. Right, next up, kind of gaming news-ish. This is from Deadline. Continue without disabling. There we go. Here it is from Deadline. Anthony D'Alessandro. Universal powering up Sega video game Shinobi into movie with Sam Hargrave at the helm. Shinobi video game and Sam Hargrave. There we go. It looks a bit pained and stressed out there, doesn't it? As I think, oh, why have I picked this? Why have I got this job? Anyway, it's not just all about Sonic the Hedgehog. Another Sega video game franchise, Shinobi, is heading to the big screen. With Sam Hargrave directing for Universal again. Ken Kobayashi, Sonny Move On, is writing the screenplay adaptation of the arcade game, which first debuted in 1987. Do you know, I don't think I've ever played Shinobi. I don't think I have. That edgy game followed Joe Musashi, a modern-day ninja who confronts great evil. Shinobi spawned 14 games, including spin-offs and ports, for a total 5 million copies sold around the globe. A new entry in the series was revealed in late 2023. Go away, articles. Mark Platt and Adam Siegel will produce the movie through Mark Platt Productions alongside Dimitri M. Johnson through Story Kitchen and Toru Nakahara for Sega. That's how old I am. Mike Goldberg will executive produce alongside Timothy I. Stevenson, who is co-producing. The pick follows Universal's 2023 video game adaptation, success with Illumination and Nintendo's The Super Mario Bros. Movie, and Blumhouse's Five Nights at Freddy's, which I quite enjoyed that. Don't like the games, but I like the film. Which minted over $1.4 billion and $290 million respectively at the global box office. Universal's SVP Production Development Ryan Jones, Senior Vice President Production Development Ryan Jones, and Director of Production Development Christine Sun will oversee the project for the studio. Hargrave directed Netflix's Extraction franchise through two picks. So it should be good then, because they were both really good films. The first movie was the most watched original film in Netflix history, drawing more than 99 million viewers during the first 4 weeks, while the sequel became the #1 movie on Netflix in 90 countries, with its predecessor rising back to the top of the list at number 2, the really good films there. They held the top 2 positions for 2 weeks in a row. His upcoming projects include Matchbox for Mattel Films, that's about cars, Matchbox cars. I bet it is, and I bet they're going to have bloody loop-the-loops and stuff like that. Hot Wheels and all that jazz. I bet it is. And for Mattel Films and Skydance, and Kill Them All, which is in development at Paramount Pictures. Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Kobayashi, not Kobayashi Maru. If Windgrace were here, that'd have been said already. But he's not. He must be busy. Kobayashi was most recently a co-executive producer on Apple/A24's Sunny. He has also written on Hitmonkey for Marvel, Hulu, and Amazon's Moonfall. Hang on, I'm thinking. No, what was that? That's not Amazon's Moonfall. That Roland Emmerich film, was it? Where the moon came crashing in. Was that called something else? I can't remember. Maybe it's just a same name. His pilot, Kuromaku, was sold to Amazon MGM Studios. In film, his screenplay, Move On, topped the 2019 Blacklist and is in development at Columbia Pictures. Hargrave is repped, but we don't care, do we? Toru Nakahara negotiated the deal on behalf of Sega. So there we go. So we're getting a Shinobi film. As I said, I don't think I've ever played it. I don't think. I played Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously. I think back in the day, all this other stuff I played, all that Streets of Rage and stuff like that. I don't think I ever played Shinobi. Don't think I did. And it's the new versions of it. It says that it is, doesn't it? Up to 2023. I think it said. Yeah. So up to 2023. So are they all like super modern now? I don't know, but like I said, I've not kept up with Shinobi, as I said. It's a series I've never played. But Josh Temple says it was a good game, played for years. I said I've never had a go of it. I'm gonna look it up. So just bear with me. I'm gonna look it up. Because we're live and sod it. Shinobi game series. Are they all like 2D side scrollers, or have they like updated them? Latest one here, it says 2011. Yeah. Let's look on videos. I don't bloody know. I don't know. But anyway, let's find the Shinobi. The Shinobi trilogy. Shush. What's happening here? Cool. This is Shinobi. Hang on. Okay, if you don't know, I don't know which one this is. There we go. Bit of Shinobi there. There it is.
These power-ups, they do not carry...
Never mind. Somebody talking. From Gaming Quarterly. Another one there, look. The usual side-scroller stuff in it. So there we go. It was side-scroller when I played, says Josh Temple. That's I don't know about the 2011 one. I think that's the latest one that came out, and they said there were a 2023 adaptation, but I found a bit of press the wrong button. What am I doing? Oh dear. Shinobi 2023. See what that says. What does that find? Right. Did it never come out? How to play Shinobi Hero Guide 2023 for Honor. Oh, right. So is this it? Let's have a look. Ah, right. So, yes, it's all up to date and modern now. There we go. This is the 2023 Shinobi. Looks slow, doesn't it? Anyway, Shinobi in for Honor, it says. Feels like a fighting game, basically, isn't it? Basically. But yes, they've updated it. Very good. Anyway, right, whatever. Whatever. I don't know what I'm doing. There we go. Right. So, there we go. So what's next? So we'll leave it there. So Shinobi's coming to the movies. It should be exciting. You've got Sam Hargrave, because them extraction films are top notch. They are. They are really good. I recommend you go to Netflix and watch them now. Right, we'll move on. To Bond, sort of. But no announcements, unfortunately. Just Sam Mendes having a moan. Here it is. Press wrong. Oh, there we go. Skyfall director from Variety, Zach Sharf. Skyfall director Sam Mendes says James Bond Studio, you mean Eon Productions, prefers filmmakers who are more controllable. Pardon me, I would doubt I'd return. You know, they only gave him the biggest films he's ever made. I hate it when, you know, creatives complain. Sam Mendes directed 2 James Bond movies, Skyfall 2012, which I liked, but I didn't think it was as good as everybody made it out to be, and Spectre 2015, which is my favourite Daniel Craig Bond film, which everybody else disagrees with me. I love Spectre. And he doubts he'll return to the 007 franchise to helm a third entry until they back up the Brinks truck with money. Speaking to Inverse to promote his new HBO series, The Franchise, Mendes said the studio often needs a director who is younger and thus more controllable. That's no longer him. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, well, I don't know. No, not really, because I think the directors they've had in the past have generally been tried and tested directors, haven't they? I mean, I've got a list here. I said we've got Carrie Fukunaga, I wish he'd change his name, but anyway. Who did No Time to Die. Again, a film I liked. A lot of people didn't like that film. Didn't like the ending, obviously. Not say what happens. But I thought it was a decent film. But it was kind of not tested in film, but it was tested in... It did True Detective, didn't it? The first season of True Detective. But anyway. And then we had Michael Apted. He directed The World Is Not Enough, which, again, is one of my favourite James Bond films. But he was a tried and tested director. And, going back through time, you had directors like Lewis Gilbert, Terence Young, Guy Hamilton, who are Irving Kershner. Oh, no, Irving Kershner did Never Say Never Again, didn't he? That don't count. Terence Young, Guy Hamilton, Lewis Gilbert, who were, old school directors, weren't they, from the studio system. But, so I don't really agree with that. Peter Hunt, people like that. And then you had, for a while, in the 80s, all the James Bond films seemed to be directed by John Glenn, which it was like an internal director, wasn't it? He'd moved up the ranks, hadn't he? And ended up becoming a director for several of the Bond films in the 80s. But I'm waffling. Anyway, where were we? Never Say Never, to quote the man. But that wasn't an Eon one, was it? Never Say Never Again. But I would doubt it, Mendes said about directing the third Bond movie. It was very good for me at that moment in my life. But I say, he wanted a new director. He'd done some good stuff as well at Sam Mendes, hadn't he? Before Bond came along. So I don't know what he's saying. Young directors. Anyway, it was very good for me at that moment in my life. I felt like it shot me out of some old habits. It made me think on a bigger scale. It made me use different parts of my brain. You have to have a lot of energy. They want slightly more malleable people who are earlier in their career and who perhaps are going to use it as a stepping stone. I think he's mixing up Eon Productions with Marvel. That's what they do, don't they? And who are more controllable by the studio, he added, about the next Bond director. What the hell's going on here? Oh, it's Timu. What the hell is that? That's the thing off that film. Dan Brown. Da Vinci Code. That's that thing in it that's got that acid inside with a parchment in. Sounds weird, innit? And God knows what that is. Anyway, Mendes' Skyfall remains one of the most acclaimed Bond movies. Not by me. It was alright, but, I enjoyed it. But I'm one of these weird people that like Spectre more. Anyway, the movie grossed $1.1 billion at the worldwide box office to become the highest-grossing 007 film of all time. It also picked up 5 Oscar nominations and won for Best Original Song, Adele. Skyfall. His follow-up Bond movie, Spectre, was more critically divisive. I love Spectre. But again, won the Oscar for Best Original Song. And I love the Spectre song, even though it's... I forgot his name now. Sam What's-His-Face, who's gone weird. But anyway. Spectre earned $880 million worldwide. Since Mendes' exit from the Bond franchise, there's only been one more 007 movie, 2021's No Time to Die. That film marked the end of Daniel Craig's tenure as Bond. Now the search is on for a new actor to play 007 and a new director to take over the franchise, and I wish they'd get on with it. It's this Amazon MGM merger / takeover that's putting a spanner in the works. Just get on with it. No filmmaker has been officially announced yet. Any comments? Let's have a look. Jump to comments. Or not. Or back to the top. Whatever. But I don't agree with that. Unless they've said that to him directly. They've said to him, we're now looking for people who are more, younger directors who are more at the beginning of their careers. But I don't think they'll do that. I think the next... what I think they'll get? I've forgotten his name. Martin Campbell. I think he'll be there, because he's always the one that seems to come along and start a new Bond off. He directed GoldenEye, which was Pierce Brosnan's first Bond film, and directed Casino Royale, which was Daniel Craig's first Bond film. So I think they'll get him back to do the next one for the new James Bond. Bet they do. Anyway, so there we go. If we ever get another one, if Amazon MGM sort themselves out. So there we go. So I don't think they're getting somebody who's more controllable. I think they'll get Martin Campbell back, because he does good Bond films. Right, we'll move on. We will move on. What's next? What's next? Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds. It's going to be a quick one, by the way, because as I said, we've only got six stories tonight. Right, this is from the Radio Times. Here it is. Has it got a byline? Louise Griffin. Thunderbirds unseen episode discovered after almost 60 years. Film cans were found in a garden shed in Berkshire. And there's Scott Tracy at the controls of Thunderbird 1. 5D. God, I love Thunderbirds. Go away. Never before seen footage from the iconic TV show Thunderbirds has been discovered in a garden shed in Berkshire, with hopes that the public will get to see it next year for the series' 60th anniversary. A total of 22 light-tight film cans containing footage of the show were discovered by the family of an editor who worked on the series and died recently. The footage has been passed on to Stephen Lariviere from Century 21 Films, who said the cans mostly contain 1960s footage from Thunderbirds, including an alternative version of an episode that was never broadcast and has never seen the light of day. Wow. I wonder if it's like a really dark, violent version. Lariviere told us... Very posh name, aren't they? Lariviere told the BBC that the cans were hard to identify due to their condition, but clearly the majority of it was Thunderbirds. After the very, very slow process of digitally scanning the footage, it became clear that much of it was the same as what had been broadcast, but one alternative edit stood out. So what they're trying to say? They're trying to say... I don't know what they mean. Anyway. Eventually, listening one night, this one played out and it was not the same as the broadcast, Lariviere said. And there's Jerry Anderson and his wife Sylvia, wife at the time, Sylvia, with Parker and Lady Penelope. While there is some restoration work to be done, Lariviere hopes that the footage can be shown to the public next year when the Jerry and Sylvia Anderson creation celebrates its 60th anniversary. The first episode of Thunderbirds aired on 30th September 1965 and followed the adventures of the life-saving organisation International Rescue. The team used a range of high-tech equipment to carry out their rescues, including the Thunderbirds, advanced craft for travelling across land, sea, air and space. Not really land. There were no land Thunderbirds, were there? They were all flying machines, or undersea. Anyway, the iconic series was filmed between 1964 and 1966 using electronic marionette puppetry. Well, the electronic part were the mouths, wasn't it? Other iconic Anderson productions included Stingray, Captain Scarlet, and the Mysterons, and Joe 90, and did other stuff as well, like UFO, not puppet stuff, but like UFO, Space 1999, Space Precinct, which I wasn't a fan of. Terrorhawks, which I bloody hated. I hate Terrorhawks. And other stuff. The Secret Service, which I never saw. The Secret Service. But anyway, is that it? Right, okay, very good. So, look forward to seeing that. But they're not telling us which episode it is. But it says there's an episode which is the same as what being broadcast, but an alternative edit. What do they mean? An alternative version of an episode that was never broadcast. I don't get it. I don't get what they mean. I mean, the episode itself was never broadcast, or the alternative edit was never broadcast. I think that's what they mean, isn't it? Anyway. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to search for Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds opening titles, because I'm pig in love Thunderbirds. Oh dear. What the heck if I get a copyright strike? Get them left, right and centre at the minute. Here we go. Right, here we go. Just let me get ready. Shush, hang on. Here we go, this. Hang on. Unmute it. Add it to screen. Are you ready?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go.
The Hood. What's it called? The pilot episode. The Fire Flash. That music. Barry Gray, bloody genius. A TV show. Anyway, I better stop it now because we're getting into trouble. We're getting into trouble. Bloody look, I want to watch Thunderbirds. I'm going to watch the Thunderbirds movie now. Thunderbirds are go. Love it. Love it. Right, so moving on. I'm looking forward to seeing that alternative episode of Thunderbirds. Looking forward to it. Right, finishing off a couple of Star Trek stories. One of them, if Windgrace were here, he'd be saying, "No, I've been telling you that for months." But yeah, you have. So this was from Screen Rant. What happened to Captain Worf's Enterprise? Star Trek Picard mystery may have been solved. Says John Orquiola, and there's Worf from, as my mum called him, Warf, from Star Trek Picard Season 3, and there's the Enterprise E. Right, a Star Trek fan theory may solve Star Trek Picard's mystery of what happened to the USS Enterprise E, which Captain Worf, Michael Dorn, claims was not his fault. Picard Season 3, Episode 9, Vox, saw the cast of Star Trek The Next Generation come aboard the rebuilt USS Enterprise D. En route to the Enterprise's dock at the Fleet Museum, however, Worf's TNG friends teased him about the fate of the Enterprise E, and the Klingon insisted, "That was not my fault." What happened to the Enterprise E remains an open question Star Trek Picard left behind. Let's check, make sure we're still going. After playing that Thunderbirds. Right. The Sovereign-class USS Enterprise E was launched in 2373 prior to Star Trek First Contact. In that film, they'd been in space for over a year, according to Geordie LaForge. So a year's worth of adventures that we've never seen. Trouble with movies, isn't it? Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, commanded the Enterprise E in 3 Star Trek The Next Generation movies, including First Contact, Star Trek Insurrection, and Star Trek Nemesis. Star Trek Picard Season 1 revealed that Captain Picard received a promotion to Admiral in 2381 to spearhead Starfleet's rescue mission to save the Romulan people from their sun going supernova. It wasn't the Romulan sun that went supernova. I nearly did a story about this the other day. I think it was from Screen Rant as well. Where in the comics, there's a comic coming out telling us about what really happened during that time. But it was the Hobus star that went supernova, which just happened to be within, I think it was inside the Romulan Empire. But it wasn't the Romulus sun itself, it was the Hobus sun, which was, X light years away from Romulus. But anyway. Star Trek Picard Season 3 confirmed it was Worf who succeeded Picard as captain of the Enterprise, but did it? It didn't really say, did it? Until the Enterprise E was lost under mysterious circumstances. And there's the Defiant. We've got some images. Oh, this is from Starfleet was nearly destroyed at Gamma Serpentis, or Serpentis. This is in Star Trek Prodigy. There we go. Where we've seen all the Starfleet ships being taken over by the living construct aboard the USS Protostar. There we go. They all start firing on each other. And like we said, we see there's a Sovereign-class ship. I think we see a couple of Sovereign-class ships. There's another one. Is it the Enterprise? I don't know if we ever see the lettering. I mean, if you can zoom in on that. Oh, there's a Surak-class ship. They had them for a while, didn't they? The Vulcans. We're back to the beginning. Anyway, let's see what it says. As reported by Inverse, why are people going on about Inverse today? A Star Trek fan theory posits what happened to the USS Enterprise E might be tied to the ending of Star Trek Prodigy Season 1. thereby proving Captain Worf wasn't at fault. In the Star Trek shitposting Facebook group, Daniel Stalvey posted a meme theorising that Captain Worf was in command of the USS Defiant during Star Trek Prodigy Season 1's finale, when the living construct forced Starfleet to attack itself. In this scenario, if the USS Enterprise E was one of the Sovereign-class ships destroyed, then it wouldn't have been Worf's fault. Check out the meme below. Right, so here we go, we're seeing it. Worf wasn't captain of the Big E, he was captain of the Defiant, and there we see the Defiant. That was not my fault. If you know, you know. There we see one of the Sovereign classes going up, and lots of others as well. Star Trek Prodigy Season 1's finale, Supernova Parts 1 and 2, took place in 2384, well after Captain Picard was promoted to Admiral and Worf was promoted to Captain. In Prodigy Season 1's ending, Starfleet was assembled at Gamma Serpentis, or Serpentis, I don't know how to pronounce it, to intercept the USS Protostar and the USS Dauntless under the command of Admiral Catherine Janeway Kate Mulgrew. The Vauna Cat activated their weapon hidden on the Protostar, the Living Construct, which forced the Starfleet Armada to open fire on itself. Among the starships at Gamma Serpentis, were the USS Defiant from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and it's possible, but not confirmed, the USS Enterprise E was present as well. As I said, I'm trying to think if we ever did. I'm sure I've seen somewhere that somebody said it was the Enterprise. It would probably win Grace, and they could see the name on it, but I don't know. I can't remember. Star Trek Prodigy. I've just read that. By the way, some pictures. There's Worf in Season 3 of Picard, and more in Season 3 of Picard, and more. Oh, look. The Borg quit, I think. Or was it just... Oh, no, it's young... What's his face? It's Picard's son, innit? What's it called now? Crusher. Jack Crusher, innit? Becoming all Borgified. Anyway. Oh, and there's some pictures. Not pictures, models. Anyway, right, where were we? One knock against the fan theory that Captain Picard was in command of the USS Defiant during Star Trek Prodigy Season 1's finale is that it doesn't line up with what Star Trek Deep Space Nine and Star Trek Picard canonically established. Worf often did command the Defiant on DS9. In fact, he lived on the Defiant for quite a while. And he did so as well as in Star Trek First Contact. But Worf left DS9 in 2375. Did he though? Officially he did. At the end of Deep Space Nine, he officially went off to become the Federation ambassador to Kronos. But he didn't seem to stay there very long, did he? Because he kept popping up in the TNG movies in uniform that was supposed to be after that. But anyway. Worf left DS9 in 2375, a decade before Prodigy Season 1's ending. Worf would have already been captain of the USS Enterprise E during Star Trek Prodigy, but would it confirm that he was captain of the Enterprise E? I don't know. I mean, during the Romulus thing, according to I know it's not canon officially, but according to the I forgot the name of it now. The comic book that preceded J.J. Abrams' movie in 2009, Data were captain of the Enterprise E. So who knows? If Captain Worf was in command of the USS Enterprise E during Star Trek Prodigy Season 1 finale, and supposing that the Enterprise E was at the Battle of Gamma Serpentis, is he? Yes, Star Trek Countdown, is he? It's Win Grace. Star Trek Countdown, yes, it was Data that was in command of the Enterprise, wasn't it? Further theorising that E was destroyed by the living construct, that still wouldn't have been Worf's fault. The Klingon captain would have had no ability to stop the living construct, and Worf would have been as helpless as everyone else. Only USS Protostar's young crew, choosing to destroy their starship, stopped the living construct. Amusingly, a comment by Star Trek Prodigy co-executive producer Aaron J. Valtke appears to give credence to the fan theory that Captain Worf commanded the USS Defiant during Star Trek Prodigy Season 1's ending. Valkyrie replied, "This is canon," to Daniel Stalvey's meme, but it's logical to surmise Aaron was just joking. Was he? Don't know. Wingray says Worf was captain of the Defiant that fired upon the E in that battle. Never mind. Worf being at Star Trek Prodigy's Battle of Gamma Serpentis, whatever. In Star Trek, nothing is officially canon unless it's seen or spoken of in a Star Trek TV series or movie. Worf being at Star Trek Prodigy's Battle of Gamma Serpentis is a fun theory that could explain what happened to the USS Enterprise E, but it's just a theory. Star Trek Picard Season 3 showrunner Terry Matalas purposefully left the question of what happened to the USS Enterprise E unanswered. Matalas said, "Somebody can tell that story someday about what happened with Worf and the Enterprise E, but it's more fun to imagine yourself all the possibilities. Indeed, the fate of the Enterprise E might become a running joke passed down through Star Trek generations." Sorry, Star Trek's generations, not the film. The Enterprise E is in the Nexus. Ultimately, a Star Trek TV series or movie will deliver the canonical answer to what happened to the USS Enterprise E, will it? If you say so. For now, Captain Worf losing the Enterprise E, if he did, during Star Trek Prodigy's finale is as good an answer as any. So there we go. That it. Any comments? No. Right, so there we go. But, If it were Worf on the Defiant, that means he must have gone back. Well, the Defiant's still at Deep Space Nine, even though Worf left and everything, and Cisco had gone off with the Prophets. Well, the Defiant's still stationed at Deep Space Nine. You'd have thought so, wouldn't you? Who were commanding it, I wonder then? Obviously, they've got somebody else in, wouldn't they? To look after it. Some, a new Starfleet commander. You'd have thought so, wouldn't you? They'd have got some... Because it left, didn't it? And it were like Colonel Kira who were in command of Deep Space Nine. But you'd have thought Starfleet had sent somebody else to take over from Cisco, wouldn't you? A captain. You'd have thought so. And I'm sure the books have covered it, but I've not read them. He was not a merry man. Anyway, but we'll see. But like I said, books aren't canon, are they? They're not canon until you see it on screen. So anyway, So I'm open to whatever. That's backwards, isn't it? I've just noticed the text there is reversed. They've mirrored it, so it's pointing. It's pointing the same way as he's looking. Yes, I wonder. I don't know. Like I say, I can't remember if you ever saw the Enterprise name. I don't know if we got a close enough look at it. Anyway, in these pictures we haven't, have we? Not that I can see. Something there. Can you see something there? Can we blow that up? Can we get that any bigger? Let's have a look. See if we can blow up the picture. See if we can blow up the image. If it'll let us. How big can we get it? Oh, it's too bloody small. Never mind. DS9 exploded in the books. And get built anew. Yes, I've read that as well. But like I say, that's not canon officially, is it? It's beta canon or beta canon, if you want to pronounce it, isn't it? But yes, I saw the built a new one that made it more or less looked exactly the same, didn't it? Because I've seen like drawings of it, more or less exactly the same as the old one. That Cardassian styling. But anyway. Right, so we'll move on. We'll leave it there. It's up in the air. But Worf wasn't captain of the Big E, the Enterprise. He was captain of the Defiant. But like I said, he must have gone back then. Did he steal it? He might have gone back to steal the Defiant from Deep Space Nine. Colonel Kira, someone's stealing the Defiant. Which is why he ended up going undercover in Starfleet intelligence. He couldn't captain the ship again. Because he stole the Defiant from Deep Space Nine. Why not? Anyway, let's move on. to the last story of the evening. Right, sticking with Star Trek. We're going to Red Shirts Always Die. Chad Porto, the Star Trek film franchise really fumbled the ball with Saavik. Yes, it did. Changing Saavik's emotional response between films was a mistake, says Chad Porto. Like saying in Star Trek 2, Kirstie Alley Saavik were quite emotional several times. You could see she struggled with her emotions, and there's been several theories. It's never been mentioned on screen, but at times, people have said that she was either half Romulan or she was raised on the Romulan colony or something like that. But the lead theory was she was half Romulan, which is why she struggled with her emotions. But then when Robin Curtis came along for Star Trek 3, she was like totally, like she'd gone through the bloody Colin R thing. It's like totally emotionless, more or less. But I'm guessing she was just doing what she was told. Probably Leonard Nimoy says, because he directed her, didn't he, in Star Trek 3. You're a Vulcan, you've got to show no emotions. Okay. Action. Anyway, let's see what they say in this article. By the way, there she is. There's Robin Curtis as Saavik and Merritt Butrick as David Marcus, who would die at the hands of the Klingons. And Merritt Butrick would die at the hands of AIDS, which is very sad. But anyway. One of the biggest criticisms you can make about the Star Trek films is that it didn't really do much, if anything, to establish new characters, at least establish them in meaningful ways. It's not something that's unique to any one version of the franchise. Arguably, the character who has had the longest staying power is Carol Marcus. That's only because she appeared in 2 separate films, in 2 separate franchises, i.e. timelines. Well, yeah, but the Carol Marcus in Star Trek Into Darkness wasn't really the same Carol Marcus that we saw in Star Trek 2, was she? Really? But she got a kit off, didn't she, in Into Darkness, which is fair enough. But I hate that film. I don't bloody hate it. She wasn't featured in most movies, but she did jump through eras, something that hardly any of the characters have done. We're supposed to get Cyborg at some point in Strange New World's near future, but as of right now, he's nothing more than a silhouette. The back of somebody's head. That looks a lot like Ethan Peck to me, but anyway. Even though it's just the back of his head, but I got them vibes. Anywho, yet it didn't have to be this way. The Wrath of Khan, Star Trek's second film offering, really did a good job creating the baseline for Saavik. Proofreading thing of the past. For Saavik, played at the time by Kirstie Alley. I think, was it her first film? Because I think it says that introducing Kirstie Alley. I think it does, doesn't it? The character had an interesting foundation for a character with her showing more emotion than most Vulcans. This has led to an idea that she was supposed to be a Romulan in hiding, or half Romulan, which is what I heard. Half Romulan, half Vulcan. That wasn't the only interesting idea, as she was supposedly set to be the mother to Spock's child, though that idea too was dropped. Because they did do it, didn't they, on the Genesis planet? Because he went through his pond far, did Spock, didn't he? After he was rejuvenated by the Genesis effect. Right up until the age. They got him off the planet just at the exact age of Leonard Nimoy. Anyway, which is in part the issue. The character kept having major moments and elements eliminated from her character. Yes, they did move on from Ali, and she really wanted to do it to Kirstie Alley, but for some reason they said, you're not getting paid as much. Because, well, no, she was in it. She was in it more, though, wasn't she? She was in probably Star Trek 3 more than she was in Star Trek 2, to be honest. Maybe. I don't know. But she was in it quite a lot, wasn't she? But they offered her less money. But she really wanted to do it. Sorry, I can see an eyebrow hair dangling down right in front of my eyes. There, look. Getting on my nerves. Anyway. Was it on my glasses? Anyway. Oh, God. Yes, it was. Right. Yes, they did move on from Ali, but Robin Curtis was always a better actress. No, she's fine as Robin Curtis, but I don't think she was a better actress than Kirstie Alley, to be completely honest. But she was good. But Robbie Curtis was always a better actress, so that shouldn't have been the reason why the character flopped in later films. But she was only in one more. She was in Star Trek 4 for about 5 seconds. And she did flop, that is. Even in Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock, Curtis's first and Saavik's second, the character was already devoid of any uniqueness. Devoid of any emotion. It's like they were so mad at Ali for not returning that they nerfed the character out of spite. Well, they should have offered her more money. I think it's something like they offered her half of what she got for Star Trek 2. And she didn't get a lot for that because it was her first film. I'm sure it was something like that. Anyway, unless I could be thinking of something else. Anyway, yet that wasn't the case. Instead, Leonard Nimoy was the reason the character lost all of its zing from film to film. It's a shame, too. Saavik had a chance to establish herself as a major character in the Star Trek franchise, beyond the 2 films. Excuse me. Yet that's all she really did. They never went back to the well, and even by the 6th film, the character had been written out and forgotten about altogether, replaced by a Vulcan character we never saw before or since, in Valeris, which was supposed to be Saavik, apparently, wasn't it? But they decided not to use Saavik. I don't know. I said they spoiled the character, really, didn't they? But anyway, I'm going to say something. I forgot what it was. Oh, yes, Leonard Nimoy. Like I say, he directed Star Trek 3 and 4. And I don't know. As I said about Star Trek 3, Windgrace has had enough of me, saying that Star Trek 3 is one of the lesser Star Trek films, which it is, but I still love it. But because it's in my top 5 films of 1984, if you go and check. I forgot what I'm going to say now. Oh, right, but it was his first film, wasn't it? I'm sure it was his first film. Let me check. I'm sure it was his very first film as a director. Oops. So it could be argued that, he didn't do as good a job as he would later in Star Trek 4. Come on, filmography. Let's have a look here. Good directing. Oh, no. Right. Oh, no, he directed TV episodes. There we go. But his feature film directing started with Star Trek 3. And then he did Star Trek 4, and obviously 3 Men and a Baby, which the highest grossing film of 1987, which is a really good film. No, it doesn't have a ghost in it. Then again, then he's done some more films and some more TV. Before he passed away. But his directorial debut was in 1973 in an episode of Night Gallery. I used to love Night Gallery with Rod Serling. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, Star Trek 3, although I do love the film, it stands out from the other Star Treks as looking, even though it's only widescreen with great effects from ILM and all that, it looks like a TV episode. They said that about Star Trek Insurrection. That didn't look like a TV episode. That felt like a TV episode, but it looked cinematic. Whereas Star Trek 3, to me, looked like an episode of 80s TV sci-fi. But anyway. And maybe, his direction of Saavik, you'd have thought he'd have got it right. He played a Vulcan most of his career, didn't he? You'd have thought he'd have got it right with her. And remembered what Kirstie Alley had been like in Star Trek 2. But then again, maybe the producer, maybe Harv Bennett or whatever, were upset about Kirstie Alley and said, we're going to change the character altogether. And everybody went, we're going to change the character. Anyway, whatever. Imagine had we did. What? Imagine what? Imagine if Saavik was introduced in the second film as the half Romulan, half Vulcan she was meant to be, who through 5 movies seduced, and bore a child for Spock, only to betray him at the end. That'd have been cool. But no, I wouldn't have done that, because she would have, she would have wunderkind, wouldn't she? At the academy and all that. although it was Valeris who was the first to graduate top of her class, or first Vulcan to graduate top of her class, which is weird, isn't it? Didn't Spock graduate top of his class? Obviously not. Anyway, it would have made a marvellous 5-film arc and would have given us a character to revisit in both the Kelvin timeline and again in Strange New Worlds. Yet all Saavik is currently is a character who has a lot more to offer than she was ever really allowed to do. Is that it? Is that it? So yes, I think they messed up with Saavik. She could have been a great character. And I think Robin Curtis still, maybe, I don't know, but until recently she used to get, dressed up as Saavik at conventions and stuff for photo ops and all that. But I've never met her. But I'm sure she's lovely. And she did appear in Next Generation. Now then. Was she a Romulan pretending to be a Vulcan? Or was she a Vulcan pretending to be a Romulan? In that episode Gambit, I've forgotten. It's that long time since I've seen that episode. But, so she got the ears on again, anyway, for that episode. Anyway. So there we go. Yes, they messed up, crying over spilt milk, essentially, unless they remake, the Star Trek films or reintroduce Saavik. Maybe they could. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Because she'd be around, wouldn't she, in the Strange New Worlds timeline. She'd be around. I don't know how old she is. Because Strange New Worlds is set in, 23, 50, 55-ish, isn't it? Something like that. It's about 10 years before original series. But we're coming up on season 3, so it might be like 23, 58 or something like that, isn't it, I think? Ish. So would she be? And Star Trek 2 is set in 2385, so that's like 30 years, isn't it? But we don't know how old she is. Vulcans live a long time, so and she could be like Tuvok, who had 2 Starfleet careers, didn't he? Decades apart. She could be like that. So yes, get her in Strange New Worlds. They'd just mess it up, though, wouldn't they? They'd just mess it up. I'm rambling again, aren't I? I'm rambling. Right, so there you go. So they did. Yes, they did. I agree with Chad Porto. They fumbled the ball with Saavik. First off, not getting Kirstie Alley back. Second off, not really telling Robin Curtis how to play Saavik properly, as in following on from Kirstie Alley's performance, showing emotion and stuff like that. When I say emotion, I mean she were often irritated. I'm sorry, I had to get into a meeting at work. Unbelievable, eh? Unbelievable. That you've got to earn a living while I'm doing a stream. But, it's fine. I forgot what I want now. I've got my fingers up and I forgot what I was saying. They didn't get Kirstie Alley back. They didn't give her the proper direction how to play Saavik, Robin Curtis, that is, in Star Trek 3. In Star Trek 4, she did seem a bit... Is it Star Trek 4? Was it? No, the end of Star Trek 3. She just kind of showed a bit of emotion. When old Spock walks up to her and she, looks away, she won't look him in the eye because she knows that, shagged you. But then when we see her again in Star Trek 4, she's barely in it. She just bids goodbye to him, doesn't she? And we never see her again. I'm sure she's been in many, many books. Wynne Gracel says, yes, she's been in many, many books, and she became captain of the thingamabob. He's going to tell me she was first officer of the Titan or something like that. I'm sure she was. Don't know. But whatever. Anyway, so there we go. But maybe we'll see her again. It'll be good. Yes. Oh, see, captain of the Titans. I knew it was that. I knew. So anyway, maybe we'll see her again. I hope we do. I hope we do see Saavik again. But I bet we don't. Anyway, there, we're done. We're all done. A quick show tonight, just 6 stories. I'm sure something really exciting's happened and I've just missed it completely. But if I have, I'll do it tomorrow. Do a video tomorrow. Right, thanks Wynne Grace and Josh Temple and Adrian James for popping in and for this shorter show. and keeping me company. Right, what's coming up next? What's coming up next on the channel? On Friday, for this week's Appointment with Fear, we're doing Let Me In. Yes, Winger says, what's the shirt? It's available in the merch store. Check the description for links. On Friday, we're doing Let Me In, the vampire film, based on the Swedish film Let the Right One In, which I might do on Saturday night. I might do a live stream on Saturday night. We'll see how I feel. So that's Friday, Let Me In. Next Monday, for Magnificent Mondays, we're doing Ghostbusters, the first one, obviously. So that should be fun. One of the best films ever made, in my opinion. So that's that. What else? No, that's about it, isn't it? That's about it. But yes, check the merch store. Links in the description, or follow the store tab on the channel where you can get t-shirts like this, or hats, or mugs, and all that stuff. Shall we have a look? Let's have a look at the merch store. Right, let's have a look at the old Yorkshire Geek spread shop. Hang on. What the heck? Let's plug some stuff. Here it is. Links in the description, anyway, for this. There you can get... I'll go to all products, shall we? There we go. So, like I say, get t-shirts and bags and stuff. That's my latest design. I'm nearly dead, bloody game. I said that quite a lot. Particularly playing the Avatar game. But like I say, you can get mugs and shirts and all that stuff. There's my USSL Scythe, NCC 722122. It's got a long number because it was launched later than other things. It's a 25th century starship. Iboricum class, so there you can get all that stuff for that. There's a TOYG thumbs up. Bloody hell, Lara, as Lara dies again. There we go. Friday Night Appointment with Fear t-shirt, complete with Vampire Lady with blood and stuff. There we go. Stupid face on t-shirts and bags. And there we go. More stupid face. And then we've got bloody game. Because I said that a lot when I'm playing games. And what else we got? We're getting there, aren't we? Just the logo, and there we go. The logo without my stupid face on, my original logo. Right, so there we go. So that's the store. From Spread Shirts, whatever the hell it's called. Links in the description. Right. While I'm plugging my stuff, sod it. I've got rid of it, yes I have. I've also got a Patreon page, but look at the Patreon page. Here it is. I'll view it as viewing as paid member. We'll view it like that. Right. So this is the old Patreon page. There it is. The old Yorkshire Geek. Where if you join up for as little as, I can't remember, is it $1.99 or $2.99? I can't remember, but anyway, you can see exclusive videos, and also I upload my Friday Night Appointment with Fear videos there, as well as on YouTube. But you don't have to be a member to watch them; they're open to the public. So we've done Salem's Lot, Evil Dead. There we go. The early access for some of my videos, top 10 favourite Stargate episodes. There we go, another Friday Night Appointment with Fear, Star Wars vid, Star Trek stuff. Have I done a Magnificent Monday at some point? Quatermass double bill. Not Magnificent Monday, in Magical Monochrome. There somewhere. There we go. And I do what used to be Patreon exclusive, in Magical Monochrome, where I just watch an old film, usually copyright free. I try and find copyright free stuff, but aren't always. But usually from the 50s, maybe early 60s, usually in black and white. Old films like old horror or science fiction, such as Stranger from Venus, and we just basically sit and watch them, and I'd talk through it, and probably get on your nerves, but that's what they are. But I've started putting these up on YouTube now for members only. Anyway, So there we go. Right. So that's the Patreon page. Wingrace says, I want to do more lists. Well, do lists then. Do you mean you want me to do more lists? I'll find another one. I'll do another one at some point. What happened to the game, by the way? Is it all sorted? I don't know. We'll find out next time I play it. It just crashed. Did the game? I think did I fall? Would I fall into my death? I was doing something, wasn't I? I can't remember what I was doing. It was either falling or jumping, and the game just froze up, and then it just crashed. Did the game? So I thought, just leave it there. I've been playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor, okay, if anybody's wondering. Yeah, it just crashed, did the game, so unbelievable. That's what happened with the game. Anyway, right, so we'll leave it there. That's the Patreon page. Right, so... Yes, I was falling with style. Buzz Lightyear, styly. Right, so... We'll leave it there. So, thanks for watching. And wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say there.